UK shoppers buy billions of cans per year, but a handful of the most popular products quietly deliver more salt, sugar, and ultra-processed ingredients than most people realize. NHS data, FSA salt targets, and BHF guidance tell a different story from what's on the tin. Canned pasta and spaghetti hoops hold a familiar spot in many UK cupboards, promising a quick meal that feels comforting and easy. But when these tins go under the nutritional microscope, the numbers tell a different story. A standard 200-gram serving of spaghetti hoops can carry up to 1.2 grams of salt, already more than 20% of the Food Standards Agency's daily recommended limit for adults. Added sugars are common too, sometimes reaching levels that would trigger an amber or even red traffic light label. Fiber and protein, on the other hand, are in short supply. Most tins deliver little more than refined wheat, tomato sauce, and a list of ultra-processed additives designed to mimic the taste and texture of a home-cooked meal. Cream of tomato soup, another staple in the British diet, seems like a lighter, wholesome option at first glance. Yet, a single serving contains between 1.3 and 1.8 grams of salt, enough to earn a red traffic light warning on the front of the pack. Added sugars can climb as high as 10 grams per portion. Action on Salt has repeatedly flagged canned soups, especially tomato and mushroom varieties, as major contributors to hidden salt in the UK diet. These products are filling, but the nutritional trade-off is clear. High salt and sugar, low fiber and protein, and a heavy reliance on ultra-processed ingredients. For shoppers aiming to get value from every tin, the label tells a simple truth: comfort and convenience don't always add up to a worthwhile meal. Cream-based soups like mushroom or chicken often appear as a comforting, easy meal, but the nutrition panel tells a different story. A typical serving contains between 1.0 and 1.5 grams of salt, enough that, when paired with a couple of slices of bread, many people will exceed the Food Standards Agency's recommended daily salt limit in a single lunch. Saturated fat is another concern, with levels high enough to earn an amber or even red traffic light label. The Food Standards Agency set a target for soup manufacturers to cut salt by 20% by the end of 2024, yet recent reports show that nearly a quarter of canned soups on UK shelves still miss the mark. For anyone watching their heart health, regular lunches of cream soup and bread can quietly add up to more salt and saturated fat than you might expect. Canned fruit in heavy syrup offers a different kind of nutritional letdown. While the fruit itself should be a healthy choice, the syrup adds up to 16 grams of sugar per serving, roughly 4 teaspoons, turning what looks like a smart snack into something closer to a dessert. Under the FSA's traffic light system, that's a red for sugar. By contrast, the same fruit packed in natural juice contains far less added sugar and counts toward your NHS 5-a-day goal. There's simply no good reason to buy the syrup version when the juice-packed alternative delivers the same convenience and a fraction of the sugar. The lesson is clear. Whether you're in the soup aisle or the fruit section, reading the label and swapping for the lower salt or lower sugar option makes a real difference. Canned meats often promote their protein content, but a closer look at the label reveals a different story. Take corned beef. A 50-gram serving can pack between 450 and 600 milligrams of sodium, edging close to a quarter of the daily recommended salt limit for adults. Saturated fat is another concern, with levels high enough to trigger an amber or red traffic light warning under the Food Standards Agency system. The ingredient list usually includes multiple additives and preservatives, making corned beef an ultra-processed choice. For the calories it delivers, the lean protein payoff is modest, especially when compared with tinned fish or plain pulses. Cocktail sausages in brine push the nutritional trade-off even further. These tins routinely rank among the highest sodium canned products in UK supermarkets, with the brine adding extra salt on top of what's already in the meat. Protein density is low for the calorie load, and the fat content is rarely lean. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats, including sausages and corned beef, as Group 1 carcinogens, a category shared with tobacco, though the risk levels are not the same. With a poor calorie-to-protein ratio and high sodium, these products offer little nutritional value for the price, especially when simpler, less processed protein options are available elsewhere on the shelf. Sweet canned desserts may be a nostalgic comfort, but their nutrition labels tell a clear story. A typical tin of rice pudding delivers up to 17 grams of sugar per 100 grams, more than 3 teaspoons in a small bowl. The main ingredients are milk, rice, and sugar, but the protein and fiber content remain low, leaving little lasting satiety. Most of the calories come from refined starch and added sugar, with only a modest amount of calcium carried over from the milk. For shoppers scanning the traffic light label, rice pudding almost always shows a red warning for sugar and an amber for saturated fat. The energy release is rapid, thanks to the high glycemic index, but the nutritional payoff is thin. Canned custard, another familiar dessert, doesn't fare much better. Most UK brands list 14 to 16 grams of added sugar per 100 grams and enough saturated fat to earn a red or amber traffic light label on the front of the pack. The protein content is modest, and there's little fiber or micronutrient value beyond what's found in the milk base. For anyone reading the label, these tins stand out as classic examples of convenience foods best enjoyed as an occasional treat, not as a regular staple. They are legal, safe, and widely available, but as everyday choices, they offer little more than a quick sugar hit with limited nutritional return. Baked beans are a staple in many British homes, often seen as a reliable source of fiber and protein. Yet the standard variety deserves a closer look. In a typical half-can serving, you'll find about 1.3 grams of salt, over 20% of the daily limit set by the Food Standards Agency. Added sugar is also present, enough to push most brands into the amber or even red zone on the front of pack traffic light label. This doesn't mean baked beans should be written off entirely. Reduced salt and reduced sugar versions are widely available and offer a far better balance, often dropping into the green or amber categories for both nutrients. It's a simple swap. The criticism applies to the standard recipe, not the entire shelf. Luncheon meat, on the other hand, falls squarely into the high-fat, high-salt, ultra-processed category. Under the UK's HFSS framework, these tins are classified as high in fat, sugar, or salt and face advertising restrictions in certain supermarket locations. A single serving can contain 700 milligrams or more of sodium, well above what most health guidelines recommend for a single meal, and enough saturated fat to trigger a red traffic light label. The ingredient list often includes bulking agents and fillers, which dilute the protein quality compared to whole cuts of meat or plant-based options. For families looking to get the most nutritional value from every tin, the lesson is clear. Some products are worth swapping for a healthier version, while others are best left for occasional use, if at all. Canned macaroni cheese stands out as the classic example of a ready meal that promises comfort but delivers little nutritional value. The label often shows a red traffic light for both salt and fat, with a standard can containing around 1.5 grams of salt per 100 grams and saturated fat levels that push it into the amber or red zone. Real cheese is used sparingly. Most of the flavor comes from artificial additives and thickeners rather than genuine dairy. For the calories, you get surprisingly little protein or fiber, leaving the meal less filling and less nourishing than it appears. Turning to canned chicken in brine, the difference between what's in the tin and what's in the liquid becomes clear. Brine can add between 300 and 500 milligrams of sodium per 100 grams compared to water-packed versions, and the texture often signals lower quality protein, soft, sometimes mushy rather than firm and meaty. The fix is straightforward. Choose chicken packed in water instead of brine, and for the best value per gram of protein, fresh or frozen chicken usually outperforms any canned option. Tuna follows the same pattern. A can packed in brine contains about 300 to 400 milligrams more sodium than the same fish packed in spring water, yet the protein and omega-3 content are nearly identical. The only difference is the salt in the liquid, a factor you can control with a quick swap. Opting for tuna in spring water is a simple aisle win that cuts unnecessary sodium without sacrificing nutrition or flavor. These small label choices can make a real difference, turning the canned aisle from a source of hidden salt into a place for practical, healthier swaps. sardines in olive oil stand out in the canned aisle for both nutrition and value. A single tin delivers about 2 grams of omega-3 fatty acids, enough to support heart and brain health, according to British Heart Foundation guidance. The bones, softened by the canning process, provide 382 milligrams of calcium per 100 grams, matching the calcium in roughly 400 milliliters of milk. Unlike larger fish, sardines carry very low levels of mercury, making them a safe weekly staple. At around 70 pence to just over £1 per tin, they tick the boxes for affordability, protein, and one of your NHS recommended 2 portions of fish per week. Tinned mackerel offers a similar bargain, but with even denser omega-3, about 1.8 grams per 100 grams, well above the daily amount recommended for cardiovascular protection. It is also rich in vitamin D and vitamin B12, 2 nutrients that are often lacking in the UK diet. The British Heart Foundation lists tinned mackerel among its top heart-healthy canned fish. For the best nutritional profile, water or tomato-packed mackerel is preferable to brine, which adds unnecessary salt. Both sardines and mackerel deliver a rare combination: strong protein, key micronutrients, and omega-3, all for less than the price of most processed ready meals. Tinned salmon stands out in the canned aisle for its ability to deliver on both nutrition and convenience. A standard 140-gram tin supplies a full NHS recommended portion of fish, with the added benefit of omega-3 fatty acids that support heart and brain health. When the bones are left in, as is common in most UK brands, each serving also provides a meaningful source of calcium, an advantage not always matched by fresh fillets. The NHS Eat Well guide places tinned oily fish like salmon on equal footing with fresh, making it a smart choice for those looking to meet weekly fish targets without stretching the budget. Consumer reports, such as those published by Which, routinely highlight tinned salmon as a high-value nutritional buy, especially compared to processed meats or ready meals. Chickpeas, often found for as little as 40 to 60 pence per tin, shift the conversation from animal protein to plant-based value. Each 100 grams drained offers about 7 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber, making chickpeas one of the most efficient ways to add bulk, texture, and nutrition to a meal. They count toward your 5 a day and sit squarely within the NHS Eat Well Guide's advice to use pulses as a key meat alternative. The fiber helps with satiety, while the protein supports muscle maintenance, without the added salt or saturated fat found in many processed options. Whether used in curries, salads, or blended into hummus, chickpeas prove that healthy, satisfying canned food doesn't have to come with a premium price tag or a long list of additives. Kidney beans and mixed beans offer a rare combination in the canned aisle: high fiber, strong plant protein, and almost no fat, all for less than the price of a takeaway coffee. A standard tin of mixed beans delivers around 7 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein per 100 grams, putting them in the green zone for salt and fat under the FSA traffic light system. The British Heart Foundation points to the cholesterol-lowering effect of soluble fiber in beans, making them a practical choice for heart health. Each serving counts as one of your 5 a day, and the variety found in mixed tins, kidney, cannellini, haricot, and black beans means a broader range of micronutrients in every spoonful. Canned lentils remove the final barrier for anyone put off by the idea of soaking or boiling dried pulses. A drained tin contains about 8 grams of fiber and 6 grams of protein per 100 grams, while also supplying a useful dose of iron, an important point for vegetarians and vegans. The canning process preserves these nutrients well, so the nutritional value stands up to fresh cooked lentils. With virtually no fat and a salt content low enough to meet the green label standard, canned lentils can stretch a stew, bulk up a salad, or replace mince in a cottage pie without extra cost or prep. For any household looking to eat better on a budget, these tins deliver the nutritional density of expensive health foods, but with none of the hassle. Plain vegetable tins offer a rare example where simplicity works in the shopper's favor. Standard chopped tomatoes, found for around 30 to 45 pence a tin, deliver more than just convenience. The heat used in canning actually boosts the bioavailability of lycopene, an antioxidant linked to heart health, making it easier for the body to absorb than from raw tomatoes. Vitamin C remains well preserved, and the ingredient list is refreshingly short, usually just tomatoes, sometimes a dash of citric acid, but no added salt or sugar in most UK brands. These tins consistently land in the green or amber range on the front of pack traffic light label, keeping salt and sugar well below the NHS thresholds. Sweet corn, when chosen in the no added salt variety, deserves a permanent spot on the shopping list. It counts towards your 5 a day, brings fiber, lutein for eye health, and B vitamins for energy. Nutritionally, it stands shoulder to shoulder with frozen, so there's no compromise on value. The key is to always check the label. Look for versions without added salt or sugar to keep the traffic light label green. With prices often under 50 pence, these plain ingredient tins prove that not every canned food needs to be a nutritional gamble. When the label stays clean, canned vegetables can be just as smart a buy as their fresh or frozen counterparts. Tuna in spring water stands out as one of the most practical protein choices on the canned aisle. Each 100 grams delivers around 22 grams of lean protein, making it one of the best value options for shoppers who want to keep meals filling without adding unnecessary salt or fat. The difference between spring water and brine is clear. Tuna packed in spring water contains about 300 to 400 milligrams less sodium per 100 grams, a simple swap that keeps the nutrition strong and the salt low. Under NHS guidance, up to 4 standard cans per week is considered safe, and the cost per gram of protein remains among the lowest of any animal-based option in UK supermarkets. Butter beans offer a different kind of comfort, bringing a creamy texture that works in everything from stews to salads. A single tin supplies both protein and fiber, supporting satiety and digestive health, while the potassium content helps balance blood pressure, an area highlighted in NHS and British Heart Foundation advice. With a price point often under 60 pence per tin, butter beans fit easily into the 5 a day target. They prove that a healthy canned option can be soft, satisfying, and budget-friendly, not just a compromise for health's sake. For anyone looking to make simple, lasting changes, these 2 tins show that nutrition and comfort can share the same shelf. Mushy peas rarely get top billing in the canned aisle, but their nutrition profile quietly outperforms expectations. Each 100 grams delivers around 5 grams of fiber, along with plant protein, iron, and a solid dose of vitamin C, nutrients that help support digestion, muscle maintenance, and immunity. Mushy peas count towards your NHS 5 a day, and their salt content is so low it barely registers on the FSA's traffic light system, earning a green label for sodium. Food composition data shows that canning preserves most of the vitamin C and iron found in fresh peas, making the tinned version a reliable source of these essentials. At just 40 to 60 pence per tin, mushy peas offer a uniquely British example of a humble staple that is both affordable and smart. For anyone looking to stretch their budget without compromising on nutrition, this classic side dish stands as proof that value and health can share the same shelf. In UK supermarkets, every can on the shelf meets legal standards, but not every label tells the real nutritional story. Traffic light guidance and NHS 5 a day rules make clear the smarter swap is often the simplest one. Oily fish, pulses, and plain tomatoes can outperform pricier health foods for under £1. The healthiest choice is comparative, not absolute, and it's always yours to make. What's your go-to tin? Share your thoughts below.